in a way, I understand the position that if you want to try and save the undercroft, then you need to focus on preservation. But I think their tactic has been, and maybe they're right, but the moment you start to engage in any process of consultation, then when it comes to planning, the South Bank Centre will say that we have consulted with skateboarders. I think the Long Live South Bank thing has been difficult because, in a way, for tactical reasons, they haven't been part of the process about the HB. And that, I think, has been quite difficult. And they were absolutely explicitly invited. The campaign has turned it very much into a polarisation of, Undercroft good, Hungerford Bridge bad. And I don't think it's that simple. I think it's much more of a continuum about skateboarding on the South Bank. And I think there are certainly some things about the Undercroft which might be better, but there are certainly some other things about the proposed new site which I think are better. You should be able to have a debate, and people have been vilified and attacked for including myself and Rich and other people, but other skaters as well. The moment they've raised their head and said anything about the HB that might be supportive, they've been shot down in a... I can understand that they might have reservations about the HB, but that's when I wish they'd come to the consultations and been part of the process, because then they'd understand what's happening. The two things are completely different. White's Grounds was set up by, I think it's Southwark Council, under their children's playgrounds auspices. Yeah, so it's run as a play facility. So it's gated and locked, not necessarily because no one wants to use it, but because they can't afford the staff to go there. Whereas the HB has no fences, has no gates, has no locks. It's open to anyone who wants to use it on a 24/7 basis. And the good, one categorically good thing about it is the South Bank Centre have entered into what's called a legal undertaking with Lambeth Council, which absolutely guarantees that piece of land is available for skateboarding and the other urban arts for 125 years on a 24/7 basis. So they're comparing a locked playground street skate plaza in a back street of London that's 2 or 3 kilometres away from the Undercroft with something which is completely different and is only 120 metres away. So actually what's being threatened for them when the Undercroft going is not only those guys losing their social status it's been called by some of the skaters as being like a tribe, and it is, but it's not flat. It has a bit of a hierarchy in it. And a lot of the skaters I've spoken to say they feel a bit intimidated to go there sometimes. You've got to be between, not always, but a lot of people feel that you've got to be between 14 and 25 and quite good and be a very hardcore skater to go and enjoy that spot. And in a way, that's what makes it so great. There's no way a private sector developer would do something like this, which is why I've been saying, in a way, it's a unique offer, and that no other organisation has done so much to try and keep skateboarding on its land. The polarisation of it is a bit unfortunate, because it sort of suggests that skateboarders are being kicked off the South Bank Centre and their whole culture is being disabused and being removed. And, that just isn't the case. My guess is that in 2-3 years' time, the new space will have been built. It will have been graffitied and there'll be street art all over it. It will be a lot grimier and grittier than I think a lot of people realise, because you can't really tell that from shiny renders. And it won't feel that different to the Undercroft, actually. And I reckon a lot of people will come into town, particularly people from outside of London. They'll have seen pictures of the old Undercroft. they'll go to the new Hungerford Bridge space and they won't even know that they're different spaces.